What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. If you clicked on this video, you're like me, you wanted to learn about Apricorn farms and all the mods. No, not all the mods, all the mods. This is a mod pack that came out, I think about a week ago, by the same team that created ATM 10. It's ATM 10 and Cobblemon put together, integrated pretty well into the mod packs. And so far I've seen it's a little complicated at some parts, but it's a lot of fun. Now, if you search on YouTube Apricorn farm, there's a vanilla one that's super popular, makes a lot of sense, but it looks like it takes a lot of time, resources, and space to make. And I was thinking there's no tutorial, probably, at least from what I could find, on how to use it with the ATM 10 mods. So this is a very simple but efficient way that you kind of like, once you set it up, you never have to touch it again, essentially. Sort of farm. So let's dive into it, but we're going to start at the very beginning. Now, if you're like me, you've never played Cobblemon, so there's 7 different types of Apricorns you can get. You need them for Pokeballs and the healing station, a bunch of different items in Cobblemon, so it's like an essential resource, essentially. Obviously, I don't know why I'd say essentially twice, but it's an essential resource you need to progress throughout the mod. Now, you can find these Apricorns on different trees and different biomes. If there's a tree that looks like this in one biome, safe to say they're going to spawn more in that same biome, so keep your eye out. But they'll spawn on trees like this. It kind of looks like a little apple growing, and it'll naturally grow. I think it has about 3 stages, so I think after this it's fully grown. Let's just bone meal it. Yeah. So well, if you see them, you can bone meal them to make them grow faster, just like any other plant. But that's not very efficient. If you're trying to get a bunch of them sitting there bone mealing, it's going to take some time. It's also pretty space consuming. Like, there's 7 trees. Look how much space this is. It's a bit awkward because they're in random spots or in little nooks like this. So what you can do is you can grab some shears. You can just pick up some of these leaves, and then as you're bone mealing, you're gonna have to do this for a bit, I think, they will eventually drop a sprout. And with this sprout, you can plant it to get more. Let's see if I can push my luck. Ah, yes. Perfect. We got a yellow Apricorn sprout. So what you can do is you can place down the leaf, and then you can place the sprouts. Let's do this. Boom. You can place it. Now, you cannot place this on regular leaf. It just places it like a tree. You can also just grow the tree if you want, but that's, space consuming. Now, with this, you're probably thinking, well, why can't you just put bone meal in a dispenser and, spam it? Well, you can. But once it's fully grown, it doesn't automatically harvest as if you were just spamming bone meal yourself. I don't know why, I think that makes sense, but you can't. Now, learn from this video here, you can actually shear the Apricorn once it's fully grown, which is fun, and it's a big contraption in this video. But if you're playing ATM 10, let's utilize the different mods in this mod pack. Now, this is my setup here. It looks like a lot. Let me explain it, though. In very simple terms, what we have is kind of the same as over there. So we have one dispenser, which you put your bone meal on, and then we also have another dispenser with shears. We also have an observer. So when the observer detects growth from this, hey buddy, it sends a redstone signal out. It pings this to push more more bone meal out. And this, once it's fully grown, it shears it. So let's test this out. Let's put some bone meal in here, not a lot, because I don't want it to spam for too long. So let's put... I'll tell you this, you're gonna hit it once to kind of like turn it on. And boom. It just keeps spamming until you're out of bone meal. And you can see these little particles. So let's just break this for a second. It's being collected here with the Just Dire Things item collector. Now, I'm not going to describe and go into details of this because there's a big video that the mod pack creator put out, so I'd say watch that if you don't know what Just Dire Things is. Very easy, very simple mod pack, just a little bit time consuming, but you can use this to collect your items. So let's turn on the radius to show you what it looks like. It's about a 5x5, I think, or 10x10, 10x5 maybe. I'm actually not sure. I don't know what it is. I think it's 10x5. Yeah, or it's 5x5 technically from this source block here. So it's 5, 5, and I think it's underneath as well, probably. Yeah, looks like it. So it goes 5 up, 5 down, 10x10 essentially. So you could probably put all 7 of these in one square, unless you want different collectors for this. But anything that's dropped, okay, buddy, what are you doing? Anything that's dropped from this will automatically be picked up in your chest. Obviously, you can get a diamond chest or your ME system to connect it to this, so you have an infinite amount of storage as well, because this will infinitely go off. Now, this is eventually going to break, but what you can do is get an Eternal Stella from Forbidden Arcanus to make this unbreakable, so you never have to worry about it breaking. So it's just kind of in there forever, chilling. But eventually, you're going to run out of bone meal. And if you search up bone meal in the GUI, or whatever this is called, oh, I spelled it wrong, that's why. It will come up, and there's a lot of ways to make it, but as you can see, a lot of it's crafting. You have to have a physical thing. You gotta go out and kill the mobs and blah 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 blah. Not fun, takes a while, kind of a lot of effort. But you get over to the loot fabricator, and if you see the loot fabricator for anything in your playthrough of an item, you're set, because this is so easy and it's like no input required. If you haven't played this mod pack before, the hostile neural network stuff, here is a link to it in the description of a video I made on how to get started and how to make that mod. Super duper easy. I love it. Super fun mod. Very easy. But essentially, you get a COD data model, you max it out to the tier, you put in a bunch of prediction matrices, and you'll get a COD prediction, which will give you 2 bone meal per simulation. And you can probably just, you know, take your pipe it straight into there. As soon as it's done, boop and a boop and a boop, and it's infinite bone meal. Now, you get a bunch of these, you'll never run out of bone meal. You'll probably want a lot, I would assume, because if you're doing all 7 colors, you'll want a lot of these. It's simple. It doesn't take long. It's probably the longest part is waiting for this to tier up fully. But what you can do is to ensure you never run out of these prediction matrices, because once you set this up, you don't want to touch it. You want to just reap the benefits of infinite apricorns. Now, this is what I do for prediction matrices to make sure I have an infinite amount of them. Is I usually start with mystical agriculture. Imagine there's a farm here, and all of your essences are going into this single chest. I will set up a bunch of formula assemblicators and essentially craft the prediction matrices. So I will take iron essence, create iron ingots, gold essence to create gold, and I'll take dirt and water essence to create clay. Then I will take fire and dirt essence to create sand. I'll smelt the sand into glass, and then craft the glass into, actually, it's probably the other way around. It's probably, yeah, you probably don't need this one here, actually, because that turns into glass, and it's just this. I'll turn the glass into the item pane, and then all of this is sent to this formula cake assemblator, which will create the prediction matrix, and that will send it to the prediction or the simulation chamber, which will then send it to the loot fabricator. So it's like, as long as your mystical agriculture farm is going, it's harvesting, it's producing these essences, you're set, because this will just keep going and going until you turn it off, essentially. That's basically it. Now, you can obviously sub items out for whatever you want to do. If you don't want to do this whole formula cake assemblator thing, don't do that. If you have a better way, do it that way. If you don't want to do the fabrication chamber and such for bone meal, don't do that. But what the main thing you want is just this thing here. You just want the dispenser, observer, so that the way this is constantly pinging, constantly growing and harvesting, and you can have it grow whatever means you want. If you can have it sheared, whatever means you want. You don't have to do just other things you do want to. You could probably just put a hopper underneath. But this is a very simple and I would say easy way to do this, because I didn't see any tutorials like this. Maybe I just missed it. Maybe I'm just not doing my research properly. But I feel like this is a very, very simple and easy way to do this. And if you're like me, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. I'm excited to put this into use in my playthrough that I'll be uploading soon. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.